You are welcome to this edition of Crime Watch, where we bring you updates on crime stories in Nigeria. This week on the program,
without any information, nothing, we just kidnapped the woman. We kidnapped her and we asked her for ransom. She paid us 1 million naira.
As I stabbed him again, he just fell down, and that was all.
175 suspects paraded in Delta State. Police in Imo Storm's forest rescue kidnapped victims. I'm Ivy Kano. This is Crime Watch. Let's start off in Abuja, where motorists plying the Murtala Mohammed Expressway encountered heavy traffic caused by a group of dismissed soldiers. The officers were laid off for various offenses, hence took to the street in protest. Defense correspondent Sifon Esie tells us more.
I risk my life. I risk my life.
At first glance, it seems to be a comic skit. But this soldier, dismissed from the Nigerian army, is calling attention to his plight. He and more than 1,000 of his colleagues are heading for the Unity Fountain in the metropolis of Abuja. They want the authorities to intervene and perhaps give them their jobs back. Their presence caused a traffic snarl along the service lane of the Murtala Mohammed Expressway by Maitama. Initially, their plea was for pardon, but their protest indicates they are now demanding to be reabsorbed. They failed to reach their destination as the police stopped them, and a female officer escorted them back to their starting point. The dismissed soldiers have since January been living in these uncompleted buildings in Pape, a suburb of Abuja.
We need forgiving. We need forgiving for every day in months. We need peace.
Well, Sifon, please stay on that story for us. And in Delta State, the police command has paraded more than 175 suspects for various crimes ranging from armed robbery to kidnapping, rape, defilement, cultism and fraud. One Saliu Teller, a dismissed officer, was one of the kidnappers.
Saliu Teller, a discharged last corporal with the Nigerian army, who had been trained over the years to defend Nigeria's territorial integrity, now specializes in the kidnap of women in Asaba, the Delta State capital. Parading the suspects at the command's headquarters, the Commissioner of Police, Delta State, Zana Muhammad Ibrahim, says Saliu and his gang of 4 have terrorized Asaba and its environs for a couple of months now, making life unbearable for women who drive expensive cars.
The syndicates that are responsible for kidnapping of ladies here in Asaba. I'm sure you remember that recently we have had a little upsurge of kidnapping of women, especially those that drive flashy cars. We have had 5 or 6 of such cases. By the grace of God, we have gotten the kingpin of that syndicate, and we are also on the trail of the remaining of his cohorts.
The soft-spoken commissioner also paraded one Chinedu Nwabuoke and Lucky Godwin. Chinedu is said to work with a revenue consulting firm to Shimile local government, Delta State, defrauded his uncle of more than 60 million naira. Under the pretext of running a revenue contract for his uncle, he kept collecting money from his uncle to finance a project that never existed. Lucky Godwin, on his part, is accused of robbery and murder. He is said to have robbed his victim and stabbed him to death with a dagger. After the incident, community members held him and were about to carry out jungle justice on him, but for the timely intervention of the police. When interviewed, Teller said he voluntarily opted out of the military. He said the kidnap of a Nollywood actress was the first kidnap he carried out.
I'm not a dismissed soldier, sir.
So what are you?
Retirement. I just wrote a voluntary discharge.
You said?
Voluntary discharge. Yes, I kidnapped one woman, so With that woman, with that one woman, at least they say even like in that woman, at least I've done with the woman, so I can't argue over it.
So why did you kidnap the woman?
Without any information, nothing, we just kidnapped the woman.
That means kidnapping is your business. How will you do for a living?
It's not my business.
So what happened? Why did you kidnap the woman?
We kidnapped her and we asked her for ransom. She paid us 1 million naira.
And you now freed her?
Yes, sir.
Chinedu Nwabuoke, who is accused of defrauding his uncle of more than 16 million naira, said he is ready to pay back the money if set free.
The person in question is my uncle. Like there's a contract, a revenue contract. So when we agreed on, he started giving me money to pursue the contract. So along the line, there was no contract. So he now petitioned me here that the money is 16 million. And I should give him the money back. That is why I'm here, sir. So
you knew that there was no contract.
Yeah.
Why did you have to see the uncle?
So I told him that the money, that I have other property I can sell to give him his money once I'm out of this place. I have properties to raise the money for him, yes.
Personal property?
Yes, that I can sell the land I purchased, that I can sell it, then give him the money back.
Lucky Godwin on his part said he acted in self-defense and that he was only at the wrong place at the wrong time.
That person they said I rob and kill, I did not take anything from the person. It was just that I was walking by that early morning and the guy, just that they robbed at that compound before. So the guy was like the community, the compound chief, a big compound ruler. It's like they have a meeting that they should be guiding the area. So as I was walking by that early morning, the guy did not lock his door and sleep. Before I knew, he just burst out and grabbed me. Tifo. I was wondering, what did I do to the guy? And he held me. He was with a dagger and he stabbed me here. Then I have the opportunity to take the dagger from him. I first stabbed him on his hand, thinking he will leave me, let me go. He did not leave me. He will still tie me. Then I now stabbed him again. He did not still leave me. He was still like screaming. As I stabbed him again, he just fell down. And that was all. Before I know, they rushed me and they were beating me up. If not for the police that came, they wanted to even kill me too. But the police came to my aid.
Thursday's parade can be described as harvest of criminals for the command, with a display of more than 170 suspects whose crimes range from kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, rape, defilement to fraud. Weapons recovered include 2 AK-47 rifles, locally made guns, pump-action rifle, double barrel, axes, and live ammunitions.
And elsewhere in the south, the Bayelsa State Command of the Nigerian Police Force launched a manhunt for one Tochukwu, a plumber, who allegedly murdered a 17-year-old Faith Pius in Yenagua. The police commissioner, Sokwa Amba, revealed that the crime took place at Customs Road in Biabolo. He assured the public that the fleeing suspect will be brought to book. Ovieteme George has more.
An unusual calm hovers over Biobolo community. The bustling life of the people has been halted by the murder of 17-year-old Musovu Faith Pius in this hotel at the Customs Road area of Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital. Stephen Pius is the slain teenager's uncle.
The neighbor boy Toshi, by his name, is one of my tenants. Before I now pack out, that I wanted to use the hat and his breast for money ritual. So because of that, she disagreed with them. Then the boy bring out knife to stab him. 2 places in the stomach and 2 places for the breast. So once was tried to cut the breast, he was shouting. Then the boy don't already notice somebody's coming. Now open the door and run from the upstairs down.
We don't like it. The people of Bayelsa, the people of Biobolo are annoyed. We are angry. The women are annoyed. We are annoyed. If they want the women to go into the street, we will go into the street. Because what is enough is enough.
To avert reprisal attacks, policemen have taken over the community after getting reports of mounting tension orchestrated by the angry youths. The Yenagoa caretaker chairman, Oboku Ofoji, is suing for peace.
We are getting more information. It's only when there is peace in the community that myself and the committee set forward will be able to bring justice to bear by fetching out the culprit. We beg the people, the Igbo community to stay off the Piogbolo community to enable us do our work diligently and return peace. It will not be long.
State Police Commissioner Asukwo Amba has assured that his men are on the trail of the fleeing murder suspect.
We were able to identify the suspect who, after committing the offense in the hotel room, took to flight. We have gotten in touch with the relatives and the relatives of the suspect because he's a known person. So at the moment, we are doing everything possible with the relatives to ensure that he is tracked and brought to justice. The area commander of the metropolis is in constant dialogue with the committee made up of the chiefs and the youth leaders. So we are trying to create an atmosphere so that everybody will be educated that it has nothing to do with tribe or color or race or anything.
Now, equipping the Nigerian police remains crucial to improving security in Nigeria. That's according to outgoing Commissioner of Police in Adamawa State Command, Oyekunle Adeboyega, reinforced this during a pull-out ceremony for him. Correspondent Olabi Adenusi's report is presented from our studios.
This is the first pulling out parade to be held at the famous Ribadu Square, Yola, capital of Adamawa State. The commander of the 23 Armored Brigade, Yola, led other heads of security agencies to the ceremony. Men of the police force were in high spirits in their colorful regalia as they displayed their skills to the admiration of guests at the event. CP Adeboyega, who survived all odds to attain 35 years in service of his fatherland, commended police authorities for the opportunity to serve his fatherland. He also appreciated the synergy between sister security agencies towards making the state crime-free, stressing that the Nigerian police can compete favorably with its counterparts across the world.
Relative peace enjoyed in the state is also the result of the untiring effort of the officers and men of the police command. I wouldn't have recorded any success without the cooperation in providing crime-free atmosphere for the citizens. You are always there for me as the job demands. I thank you all. The cooperation received from other security chiefs and other quasi-security outfits has been very tremendous. The synergy among us has really helped in providing peace in the state. Today is my joyful day, and yours will come in God's grace. I wish to emphasize here again, as I always did, that the journey to pinnacle of police career is not by sudden flight, redundancy, malingering, and indolence, but by hard work, clean conscience, dedication, loyalty to constant authority, fear of God, and to capital on relentless prayer.
Wife of the outgoing CP, Mrs. Yabowale Oyekunle, could not hide her emotions, describing as glorious her family's experience of the past 35 years serving the country.
It has been rough and it has been amazing. I give God all the glory, all the adoration for keeping him till today. He has passed through so many storms, but he overcame by the grace of God.
Speaking to journalists after being pulled out, CP Oyekunle emotionally described his experience as a cop for 35 years and the joy of getting to the top of his career. He appealed to the federal government to assist the force in addressing the problem of insufficient equipment. It is on record that Adeboyega was able to reduce crime rate to a bearable level in Adamawa State.
And now to some cheering news. Operatives of the anti-kidnapping of the Imo State Police Command have rescued kidnapped victims in Avu Forest, as well as arresting 7 suspected kidnappers. Our correspondent Saturday Ochia reports that the kidnapped victims were blindfolded and tied inside the forest before the arrival of the operatives. His report is presented from our studio.
These are operatives of the anti-kidnapping force storming a kidnap hideout in Avu Forest, Owerri West local government area of Imo State. Sensing danger, the suspected kidnappers engaged the operatives in a shootout which lasted hours. At the end of the battle, the operatives were able to rescue some kidnapped victims. They also arrested 7 kidnapped suspects.
During the Operation Bush Combine, the kidnap gang confronted and engaged operatives in a shootout. As a result, 7 of them who were involved, who were holding hostage, 3 kidnapped victims were arrested, and 3 of the victims who were blindfolded and then tied in a forest were rescued. The operation, which was tactically conducted by the Commissioner of Police, CP Chris Ezike, has directed a mop-up operation in all the areas in Imo State suspected to be having for criminals.
For the rescued victims, it was a glorious day as they regained freedom after days in the hands of the abductors. The Commissioner of Police, Chris Ezike, who was represented by the Force PPRO, Andrew Werem, reassured Imo citizens and residents of protection and safety at all times.
The Imo State Police Command, under the directives of the Commissioner of Police, will continue to mop up areas where suspects or where criminals are suspected to be hiding. And operation continues. The Commissioner of Police is assuring Imolites to go about their lawful businesses without fear, and he has brought a paradigm shift in the state where criminals are now being handpicked every day. We are assuring the members of the public, especially those resident in Imo State, that we are going to do our best to make sure that their economic activities thrive.
The rescued victims are now receiving treatment in the hospital.
Elsewhere in the south, police in Ogun State have arrested a fake soldier and suspected killer of a motor boy at a car wash in Abuja. The suspect allegedly shot the deceased Razak at close range after a minor argument over the parking of a truck. The suspect was arrested while fleeing to Togo. TVC News' Kazim Olowe has details.
It was a victorious outing for officers and men of the Nigerian police in Ogun State Command as they arrested a suspect who killed a motorboy at a car wash in Abeokuta and fled the scene without anybody knowing his identity. Speaking about the operation, the Commissioner of Police Ogun State Command, Ahmed Ilyasu, said police swung into action immediately the news got to them and they were able to establish the identity of the runaway killer who left no trace of his identity. He noted that after 4 hours of intensive intelligence gathering and usage of modern equipment, men of the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad in the state were able to establish his whereabouts. He added that the suspect, who posed as an army officer, is the leader of a robbery gang which has been terrorizing Abeokuta and its environs.
Officers and men of the command were put on red alert, while the officer in charge, Federal SARS, was given a marching order with an instruction to get that murderer arrested within 24 hours. In less than 4 hours, the profile of the suspect was uncovered through the covert use of technical intelligence. It was also gathered that the suspect had escaped to the Republic of Togo. Based on this information, the Federal SARS operatives went into full-scale deployment of technically driven intelligence investigation and were able to trace, lure the culprit back to Nigeria tracked him down and got him arrested at about 0900 hours of 04/05/2017.
The suspect, who confessed and claimed that his action was a mistake, said he wanted to scare the motorboy with the gun, but he unfortunately pulled the trigger.
Immediately, I tell the man to reverse the vehicle. So he refused. I don't know that it's a motorboy. I think it's the driver. So I want to deflate the tire. He came to me and dragged it together. So immediately the driver was caught. Please go inside the vehicle with the trailer.
Okay.
So I go with him.
Okay.
So I took the gun to be choking him. So he hold it. So I want to remove it. So the thing removed.
He appealed to the government to have mercy on him with a promise that he would never make such a mistake.
I want the government to know this was a mistake. I want them to help me out from this problem. So I'll never do kind of mistake again in my life.
The police also paraded 9 other suspects who committed different crimes, including impersonation, armed robbery, and courtesan. One of the suspects caught with a military uniform said he put on the uniform to scare land speculators.
Actually, he promised to give me 10% because he said he doesn't want to fall into wrong hand. So the first place we got, so immediately the Omoniles saw Baba and me. So actually, the initial plan was to sell land. We did not say no, they are no longer selling. That they don't want to sell land to any security operatives. I was putting it on with Baba that I wanted to buy land. And along the line, the security personnel were passing by and they saw us and got arrested.
The state will no longer be conducive for hoodlums of whatever kind or nature who might want to hibernate in the state to perpetrate their notorious activities. And I want to assure you that we are determined, we are resolute and focused in this onerous task of making Ogun State safe and secured. We are going all out on a massive manhunt for the would-be criminals in the command so as to make residents of this state to sleep with their 2 eyes closed. And with our determination and support of the people, we are very sure of ridding the state of crime and criminality.
Items recovered from suspects include guns, live and used cartridges, vehicle number plates, and military uniform.
Now, it's not only a crime that he's a fake soldier. He also had a gun with him. That's a very sad one. Still in the southwest, in Ondo State, policemen have apprehended 8 suspected armed robbers at different locations in the state. TVC News Ayodeji Moradeyo gives us the details.
It is another success story for the police in Ondo State as the command paraded 8 robbery suspects before journalists. 3 of the suspects were apprehended after snatching a Honda car belonging to the wife of a medical doctor, Wale Oke. The 3 suspects, according to the police commissioner, snatched the vehicle in front of the doctor's house at Obaile area of Akure. The police later nabbed the suspect after they were alerted about the crime.
Residents of Obaile witnessed something very terrifying. A young lady was driving to her house in her husband's car, and as she got to her gate, she was accosted by 3 young men on a motorcycle who showed her a gun, and she had to give them the key to the Honda Accord car. The news went round, and the policemen swung into action, and while the hoodlums were trying to take the car away, the police met them at Afuta North Gate. Obviously, they were getting out of the state, heading towards Osun State. The vehicle was recovered The gun was recovered from the young men, and they are all here to tell the story.
The leader of the robbery squad, Eze Moses, could not give meaningful reason for leading other members of the gang to commit the crime.
I was arrested for a crime I committed. For a crime I committed, I tried stealing a vehicle.
Please speak up.
I tried stealing a vehicle that is not mine.
So why did you do that?
I don't have any good reason.
The police also paraded a lady, Osas David, with 3 other suspects. The suspects were arrested in Idori area of the state for complicity in armed robberies cases. Osas, who claims she's a commercial sex worker, was arrested while her boyfriend escaped.
Where did make the arrest? I don't do anything because I be Zola. So I don't know say the guy na thief. So I go there because I come back for my village. My phone dey down. So as I go the boy house because I dey see 3 phones for a hand. So I come tell am say me give me your phone, take call my mommy, say I don't reach house. So he say no. So he can't bring one phone, come and say I put my SIM. So I can't put my SIM.
The police boss urged people of the state to always furnish the command with useful information that will lead to the arrest of criminals.
But the import of this press briefing is to alert members of the public about timely information to the police about any crime that happens anywhere in the command, even outside the command. A lot of my brothers in the other command, they always inform us if there is a car snatched, robbery in any other states. We have a way of circulating the information.
Other residents of the state want the police to sustain the gain recorded towards reducing crime in the state.
And that brings us to the end of this week's edition of Crime Watch. Join us next week for another interesting episode. Don't forget to send your comments to crimewatch@tvcnews.tv. I'm Ivy Kano. See you next week.